This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so see this slide. Today's topic is storage classes. Okay, and during this lecture, we will study these subtopics: introduction of storage classes. Then we will see how many types of storage classes are there in C, and then we will do some examples on storage classes. Okay, so let's go to the introduction part. Okay, what are storage classes? Storage classes are used to describe the features which are associated with a function or a variable. Okay. You have declared variables. You have also declared some functions in your previous classes. Okay, so when you declare them, there are some features which are associated with either this function or variable. Okay. So storage classes are the concept in C which are used to describe these features. And now see what are those features. Okay, so first feature is this one, location of variable in memory. Okay, we will see all these features one by one. Second feature is initial value of variable. Third feature is scope of variable. And this is the last feature of a variable, that is lifetime of a variable. Okay, so storage classes tells about all these four features regarding a function or a variable. Okay, now see first point, location of a variable in memory. Whenever you declare a variable, it is always allocated some memory in your computer. Okay, and there are several types of memory devices in your computer. Some of these devices are faster, some are slower. Okay, so when you declare a variable, what kind of memory devices will be given to that variable? Okay, so this feature is described by storage classes, whether the variable which you have declared will be stored in a fastest memory or it will be stored in slowest memory. Okay, so for this we will see two types of memory. First is main memory and second is CPU registers. Okay, so the variable which you will declare will be either stored in main memory or it will be stored in register memory. Okay, so which is faster among these two? Is main memory faster? Register faster? Is access to register is more faster than memory? Okay, so for this we can see this memory hierarchy here also. Okay, this is the memory hierarchy which describes the sizes of memory and as well as their access times. So register is at the top of this hierarchy. So it is the fastest device. Okay. After this, cache memory has the access time greater than main memory, and then main memory has access time greater than faster than less than magnetic disk, and magnetic disk have less time and less access time than magnetic drives. So this is the memory hierarchy. See this one, increase in cost per bit. If you go upwards, okay, the size of devices will increase. Okay, so here it has been written increase in cost per bit. Register are more costly than cache memory, and then cache memory is more costly than main memory, and so on. Magnetic drives are least expensive in this memory hierarchy. Similarly, if you go downwards, there is increase in capacity and access time. Okay, register stores only one bit, either 0 or 1. Okay, cache memory in size of some kilobytes, then came main memory in some sizes of gigabytes. Magnetic disks can vary from terabytes, and magnetic drives are go from petabytes also. Okay, so in this way, if you go downwards, size capacity always increases, and access time is also increases. Okay, if you want to access register, it will take very less time. If you want to cache memory, it will take less time than main memory. And then if you want to access this magnetic drive, it will take most of the time to read and write data. So this is the memory hierarchy. Now, location of variable in memory. Okay, with this feature, you will decide where to store your variable. Should you store it in fast memory register or should you store it in main memory? There are only two devices in which you can store, either in main memory or in register. Next feature is initial value of variable. Okay, so when you declare a variable, what will be its initial value? You have learned till now that any variable which is declared, it will contain a value which is known as garbage value. Okay, so either it will keep a garbage value, or it can store also 0. Okay, it depends on storage class. Okay, in which storage class you have declared a variable, it will take that kind of initial value. Either it will take garbage value or it will take a 0. Okay. So this is second feature, and now this is third feature, scope of a variable. Okay, what is scope of a variable? See, when you declare a variable, okay, uh, how many functions can access that variable? Okay, see, in a program there are several types of function you can declare. Just a second. So when you declare a variable, then many functions can access that variable. Okay, so will you allow all the functions to access that variable, or you restrict that variable? It depends also. It also depends on storage class. Okay, what is the scope of a variable? Is it visible outside the block, or is it only accessible within the block? So there are two cases. Either the variable can be accessed within the same block, or it can be accessed outside block. Okay, we will see the examples of all this. Don't worry, you will understand it easily. Now, last part is lifetime of variable. Okay, so when you declare a variable, will it be active throughout the program, or will its space can be reutilized for another variable in between in the program? Okay, so this is known as lifetime of variable. For example, if you have declared a variable int a in starting, okay, will it be active for till the last basis of main program is encountered, or will it be destroyed in between the program? That is lifetime of variable. Okay. So this also depends upon its storage class. Some variables can be active throughout the program, or some variables lost their existence after they come out of the block. Okay. So there are two cases here also. Either the lifetime of variable will be throughout the program, or either they will be destroyed as soon as you come out of the blocks. That is, their lifetime is end of block. So these are four features of a variable or a function. These all things are also applicable to a function. Okay, when you declare a variable, then when you declare a function, what should be its location? Okay, what should be the initial value of variables or arguments in them? What is the scope of that function? What is the lifetime of that function? So same thing also applicable to function. Okay, so these are the features. Now next, let us go to next slide. Okay, you can take screenshot of this slide. Okay, this is the slide is completed now. Okay, so now let's go to what is block. Okay, we have discussed 3 times in previous slide a term block. First of all, understand what is a block. Okay, so see this definition. A block is a set of statements enclosed within left braces and right braces respectively. Okay, so whenever you write some instruction within these blocks, within these braces, then that set of instruction is known as a block. Okay. For example, suppose you have written this statement, instruction int a equal to 10, float b equal to 3.5, and then you have printed both of these variables a and b. Okay, so now we have closed these instructions with right brace. So this is a set of 3 instructions, and that is known as a block here. Okay, so so what are the points which you should remember here? Blocks may be nested in C language. Okay, you can write a block within another block. Okay, see this one. This is example of nesting. Okay, for example, outer block has been started in green color braces. Here a single instruction int a equal to 10 is written. Then again float b equal to 3.5 is written. Okay, then this is the inner block. Here block is being nested, that is in red color brace. Here int c equal to 20. Another variable is declared. And then you have printed say all 3 variables a, b, c. Then you have incremented all these variables a plus plus, b plus plus, and c plus plus. Okay. After this, you have closed the inner block, and then you have printed a and b in outer block. Okay. See this program carefully. Okay. You have printed a and b now in outer block, and then you have also printed c in outer block. Okay. So then you have closed it. Okay. So Can you guess what will be the output of this program? Okay. Tell me just what will be the output of this line? Printf %d %f %d A B C. What will be printed?
10, 3.5 and 20.
Okay, 10, 3.5 and 20, right? Now after this, all the values are incremented here. So A is now 11, B is 4.5, and C is 21. Now tell me what will be the printed in this statement? A and B?
11 and 4.5.
11 and 4.5. And now tell me what will be printed in this statement?
21.
21.
This time this is wrong. Okay, 21 will not be printed here. Okay, this is happening here because of scope of a variable within a block. Okay, see, this is inner block in red color. Here variable C is declared 20. Okay, so this variable C is now local to this block. Okay, its scope is not outside this block, so you cannot print C outside the block. Okay, so see how blocks are working here. If C is declared within inner block, it cannot be accessed outside the block. Okay, but say A and B are declared in the outer loop, so they can be accessed within the block. Okay, so here you can print A, B, C. Okay, all three values, but outside the block you cannot print C. Here A and B can be printed because they are declared in outer block. Okay, this is the concept of block. I have written a program for you so that you can understand it easily what are blocks and what is scope. Okay, so this is the second point. Now a variable, see this point carefully, a variable declared inside a block is accessible in the block and all inner blocks of that block, but not accessible outside the block. Okay, this is what we have done here. See, a variable declared inside a block. See here A and B, these are declared inside green block. Okay, so they are accessible in green block from here to here and all inner blocks of that block. So what are inner block of this block? This in red color. So that's why you have also accessed A and B here. Okay, but not accessible outside the block. So now here C has been declared and that is outside the block. Here you have printed it outside this, so it will not be printed. So this is this point. Remember this point also. Okay, then you can easily understand what is the scope, what is the lifetime. Okay, first of all you must understand what are blocks in C. This is the third point. By default, every variable, all the variables in C are local to the blocks in which they are defined. Okay? By default, all the blocks are local to the block. Local to the blocks means they are accessible within the blocks. Okay, so every variable in C by default will be local to the blocks. Okay, we can change this locality using storage class. We can make them accessible outside the class also. We will see this in next slide, how you can make this element print C outside the block also. Okay, we can make this statement working. Okay, so what for this we have to change its storage class. Okay, it will not be simply declared as int C. We will see it later on. Okay, so these are the 3 points which you should remember. Okay, and these are the blocks. Okay, now just before going to the next slide, let me run this program so that you can also understand it perfectly. Just a second. Can you see this compiler screen now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so this is the program which I have discussed in slide. It has been also written here. Okay, see here two variables a and b are declared int float. This is int c, and then a plus all has been incremented, and then you have printed ab. So see, this is program. This is perfect program now because we have not printed here c statement here. Okay, so it will run. See the output. So there is some error declaration model. Okay, we should write clear screen after declaration. Okay, so I will write here clear screen now. Now just run it. So this is the output. Okay, first time the variables were 10, 3.5 and 20, and after incrementing a, b, c, you have only printed a and b. So a has been printed after incrementing 11, and then 3.5 is also incremented to 4.5. So this is the perfect output. Now see in this program, if I try to print c here, printf, so just a second, I have not closed it. So now if I try to run it, there is an error. So what is the error? Also let us see it, undefined symbol c. Okay, see we have also defined a symbol, and we have declared and defined it here int c equal to 20, but still it is saying undefined symbol c. This is happened because this variable c is not in outer not in the scope of outer block. This is the outer block. It starts from here to here. Okay, and the scope of c is only between this brace and this brace. Okay, so this is not visible outside this block. So this error has been happened here, undefined symbol c. So now you, I think you got it now. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask. समझ आ गया सभी को क्या है ब्लॉक, किस तरह से उनका स्कोप होता है ना?
Yes, sir.
So this is scope. Now let's close it. Now once again, let's go to the slide. Okay, so after block, this is the next slide now. Okay, types of storage classes. Okay, there are 4 storage classes in C. First is automatic storage class. Second is register storage class. Third is static storage class. And this is last one, external storage class. Okay, now we will see all these classes one by one with the help of examples. Okay, so now we are going to next slide, that is automatic storage class. Okay, so what is automatic storage class? This is default storage class for all the variables declared inside a block in C. Okay, आज तक आपने जितने भी प्रोग्राम किए हैं सभी वेरिएबल्स की जो बाय डिफॉल्ट क्लास कौन सी थी? ऑटोमेटिक. आपने ऑटोमेटिक कभी उसको खुद नहीं बनाया, ठीक है, लेकिन बाय डिफॉल्ट कंपाइलर जितने भी आपने वेरिएबल्स या फंक्शन डिक्लेयर किए हैं सभी को उस कंपाइलर ने क्या कंसीडर किया था? एज अ ऑटोमेटिक स्टोरेज क्लास में. ठीक है, सो नाउ सी व्हाट आर द फीचर्स ऑफ ऑटोमेटिक स्टोरेज क्लास. Okay, how do you declare automatic storage class? Auto keyword. This is a new keyword for you. With the help of auto keyword, you will declare a variable which will be stored in storage class. Okay, if you don't use auto keyword, then by default it will be treated as a default storage class. Okay, you have not used auto till now, but still all the variables were assumed as a automatic storage class variables. Okay, so this is the first point. Auto keyword will be used. Second, in auto storage class, initial value of all the variables will be garbage value. Okay, so यही हुआ था जैसे आपने कोई वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर किए थे int a, b, ठीक है, और आपने उनकी वैल्यू प्रिंट की थी, तो मैं कहता था हर वक्त a और b की क्या वैल्यू प्रिंट होगी? गार्बेज. Now this is the reason behind it, because that variables were by default considered in automatic storage class, and in automatic storage class initial value of all the variables are garbage value. This is second point. Now see third one. Storage of auto class variable is in main memory. Okay, every auto variable will be stored in RAM. What is main memory? RAM, random access memory. That is your primary memory. So they will be stored in main memory. They will not be placed in CPU register. This is the third point. No, this is the fourth point. Okay, scope of auto variable is within block. Okay, we have discussed the previous program. Okay, so that variable was also in automatic storage class. Okay, you have not mentioned their auto keyword, but by default they were in automatic storage class. So we have seen the scope of that variable. Okay, that was within block only. You cannot print variable C outside outer block. Okay, this is the last point, lifetime. Okay, the lifetime of auto variable is end of block. What does it mean? It means when you come out of the block, that variable will be destroyed and the memory of that variable now can be allocated to some another variables. Okay, so that is their lifetime till only end of block. So these are the 5 points which you should remember. Okay, auto keyword will be used for declaration. Value will be garbage value initially for every variable. Storage will be main memory, and scope is within block, and lifetime is end of block. Okay, see with this example. Now you have to tell me what will be the output of this program. These variables are declared in automatic storage class. We have declared a keyword auto int a comma b. What will be the output of this program?
Garbage value.
Garbage value.
Garbage
value. Okay. So any value should just see this output 388 and 782. These are the garbage value which can be printed. Okay. Now this is the next program. Tell me the output of this program. All the variables are automatic. Now here you will see the scope and lifetime of these variables. See carefully. There are 3 blocks. First in red color, then green color, then in then blue color, then in green color. So their scope is different. Anyone can guess the output? He or she can reply.
The 432.
4,
The
3,
palette
and
4.
Okay, this is right answer. Okay, this is right answer. See, auto int a equal to 2. This is in the scope of red color braces block. Auto int a equal to 3. This is in the scope of blue color braces, and this is auto int equal to 4. This is in the scope of green color braces block. So when you have reached here int a equal to 4, so this value will be printed here first time 4. Okay, and now say after you reach this green close braces, this variable a will be destroyed. Okay, and these are 3 different variables. Okay, you will the compiler will reserve 6 bytes for these 3 variables. Okay, there is not a single 2 byte space for this a. These are different. Okay, they will be treated different in compiler. So a 2 bytes block will be allocated to this a, and this will be destroyed after you reach this. So this is the lifetime of variable int a in inner block. Okay, after this you have reached here. So this is in the range of blue block. So blue block value is 3. So 3 will be printed, and after this you will reach this closing brace. So this variable will also be destroyed. Okay, so I'm telling you both the scopes and block lifetime also. Okay, scope is till now and lifetime is also till here. See here, this is within block and end of block. After this you will reach here printf %da, and this is in the scope of this red block. So here value of a was 2. Okay, so you have printed here 2, and after this you will reach here. So all 3 variables will be now destroyed. So you will get a free memory space of 6 bytes after you reached here. Okay, so this is lifetime of variables, and this will be the output of this program 4, 3, and 2. I think you have understood this automatic storage class. Okay, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Hello? Okay, so now next, let us see next storage class, that is register storage class. Okay, see first point.
Excuse me, sir.
New keyword. Hanji, boliye.
Sir, would you please take it back as screenshot?
Okay, okay.
The previous slide.
Okay, this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, and remember one thing, you have to try all these programs yourself in your compiler. Okay, so take screenshot and try to run it and see the output. Everyone in class take the screenshot of this program. Now let's go to next slide, that is register storage class. Okay, Here another new keyword is introduced, that is register. Okay, so whenever you declare a variable in register storage class, you have to use this keyword register, which is marked in red color. And see the next point, initial value of this variable is also garbage value. This is similar to the automatic storage class variables. Next point, this is the difference between automatic storage class and register storage class. Here the value of the variable will be stored in CPU register. Okay, it will not be stored in RAM, it will be stored in CPU register. This is the only difference between automatic and register storage class. Everything else is same. See next line, scope of variable is within block. This was similar to the automatic storage class. And last point also, lifetime of a variable is end of block. Okay, so this is also similar for automatic storage class. The only difference lies between the storage of a variable. Okay, in automatic it was main memory, and in storage class it is CPU register. Now let us see this example. Okay, here you have declared a variable register int I. Okay, so now this variable I will be stored in which kind of storage? Register. This is, and register is fastest device as compared to RAM. So to do calculation on this I will require less access time than a variable in automatic storage class. And output of this program will be, you know, this program will print natural numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so here variable I was used 10 times. Okay, so you have declared its register. So one point should come to your mind, when you should use a variable as register and when you should use it as automatic. With such kind of variables which require most frequent access in your program, they should be declared at registers. For example, loop counter. Here I is what? I is a loop counter which is used to start a loop. Okay, and it will be accessed more frequently than all other variables. Okay, so it should be stored in a register class so that your output will come faster than if you used in I as a automatic. Okay, so you have printed here only 10 natural numbers, and now you are going to print 1000 natural numbers. So this I will be accessed 1000 times. So it is better to declare this variable as a register. Okay, so these are some points which we should also remember. A variable stored in CPU register is accessed more faster than one that is stored in memory, that is main memory. Okay, here we are telling about main memory, and this is the second point. Okay, remember, see this point carefully. It is not always granted that the variable declared as register will be stored in CPU register. Okay, if you have declared here register int I, it is not ensured that it will be stored in register. The reason behind this is because number of CPU registers are limited, and these CPU registers may be busy in doing some other work of your operating system. So in such a case, what will happen? The variable will work like a automatic variable. Okay, so all the rules which are applicable to automatic storage class will be applicable to register class variable. Okay, so these are the 2 points which you should remember. Okay, so you can take screenshot of this slide now. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can ask before we proceed to next slide now. Okay, so now next let's go to third storage class, that is static storage class. Okay, here you will use a keyword static. Then this is the first point. Second point regarding static storage class. Here initial value is 0. Okay, remember in previous storage classes, that is automatic and register, value was garbage value, and in this case value is 0 initially. Third is main memory. Storage will be in main memory. Fourth is scope of the variable is within block, and this is the lifetime. This is also different from previous 2 classes. Here lifetime of a variable persists between different function calls. Okay, what does it mean? Suppose you have declared a variable in function A function, and then you are calling that function again and again, then the value of variable will retain during all the functions call. Okay, the variable will not die, will not lost its existence until you completed all the calls. Okay, we will see this with the help of example, then you will understand this concept easily. Okay, so note on this point, these points. Now see, this is the program for static variable. Here you will also say scope as well as this lifetime. Here variable n is declared as static int, okay, and you have printed here n. Okay, then value of n is decreased. This is the function which you have defined here. Okay, this function is named as fun. Okay, and this is the main driver program here. Okay, here a variable k is again declared, which is 5. Now while 5 is greater than 0, you have called this function fun. Okay, and it will be called how many times? 5 times, because 5 greater than 0 is true, 4, 3, 2, 1. So till the value of k is becoming 1, you will call this function. So this will be called 5 times. And now here, can you guess what will be the output of this program?
0.
See, this function is called 5 times. So this printf, this function will be run 5 times. So 5 times there will be some values which will be printed here. So only single value cannot be there. 5 values will be there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, only 1.
1.
It will not be 0. Okay. See, first time k is greater than 0, 5 is greater than 0. So function will be called, and n is what? 5. So 5 will be printed, and then value of 5 will become 4. Okay. After this, here value with
4 is greater than 0.
4 is greater than 0. Okay. I have not written here k minus minus. Okay. K minus minus should be also here. Okay. Otherwise it is infinite loop. Okay. This is a mistake here. I have not written here a statement to decrement k value of k. Okay. So after this, value of k will become 4, and this function will be called again. So now value of, देखो जो previous value थी n की, वो क्या थी पहले 5, अब n की value क्या बनी होगी recently 4. तो ये n की जो new value है वो retain रहेगी. This is meant by the statement. The value of lifetime of variable persists between different functions calls. ठीक है, अगर यहाँ पे स्टैटिक नहीं होता तब कुछ और आउटपुट आती है आपकी, है ना. ठीक है, तो जो n की रिसेंट वैल्यू है 4 वो रिटेन रहेगी, उसके बाद n की वैल्यू 3 होगी वो रिटेन रहेगी, फिर n की वैल्यू 2 होगी वो रिटेन रहेगी. अदरवाइज देखो, आप जब कॉल करते हो तो फंक्शन फिर से आप स्टार्टिंग से आते हो ना कभी, तो n तो हर बार 5 होना था, तो 5 ही प्रिंट क्यों नहीं हुआ यहाँ पर 5 बिकॉज दिस वेरिएबल इज डिक्लेयर्ड एज स्टैटिक. सो n की रिसेंट वैल्यू रिटेन रहेगी, ना कि n 5 रहेगा हर टाइम. सो द आउटपुट ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम विल बी 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is the lifetime. Now see the same program without writing static. See this one here. Okay, now here you have not declared it static. It is int n equal to 5. Now what will be the output of this program?
5.
Only 5. How many times?
5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
5 times.
5 times 5. Okay, so it will not be single 5, it will be 5 times 5. Okay, because now when you call this function, value of n will not retain. Okay, because its lifetime is destroyed. It will be destroyed after you reach these places. See, 5 will become 4, then this n will be destroyed. Then you will call this function again, and new value of n will be again given 5. So you will print again 5, that will become 4, then it is destroyed. Again function is called, it will again become 5 in this way. So till k is greater than 0, here the function will call 5 times, and all 5s will be printed. 5 times 5 will be printed in this program. Okay, take screenshot of this program and try to run both of these programs. Then you will understand what is the lifetime and what is the scope of these variables. Okay. So this is static storage class. समझ आया सभी को या नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, देखो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट है. आपकी जब भी प्रोग्रामिंग करते हो, आपको अभी तक हमने जो प्रोग्रामिंग की है वो प्लेन प्रोग्रामिंग है. हमने कोई भी स्टोरेज क्लास डिफाइन नहीं की. हमें कोई इससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता था कि उस प्रोग्राम की एफिशिएंसी कैसे हो. ठीक है, वो रजिस्टर में स्टोर हो या नहीं हो. ठीक है, उनका स्कोप क्या हो, लाइफ टाइम क्या हो. ठीक है, देखो अगर स्कोप आपका विद इन ब्लॉक है तो आपका जो प्रोग्राम है वो लेस मेमोरी कंज्यूम करेगा. जैसे ही ब्लॉक से बाहर कोई वेरिएबल आएगा वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगा. ठीक है, लेकिन आप ऐसा रखते हो स्कोप की ग्लोबल हो, जैसे हम एक नेक्स्ट क्लास पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है, उस केस में आपके प्रोग्राम का साइज हमेशा इंक्रीज मतलब ज़्यादा रहेगा, ठीक है। तो ये अब सारी चीज़ें करने के बाद हम जो भी प्रोग्राम करेंगे वो इन सभी कीवर्ड्स को लेके बनाया करेंगे, है ना। आपने ऑटो में रखना है, स्टैटिक में, या नेक्स्ट अभी हम पढ़ने वाले, ठीक है। So now see, this is the last storage class, that is external storage class. Okay, here keyword extern is used to declare a variable. Okay, initial value is also 0. Okay, it is similar to static class. Okay, and then storage is also in main memory. Okay, this is also similar to automatic as well as static storage class. This is the different, okay, among all four. This is scope of the variable is global here. Okay, in previous three classes the scope was within block. In this storage class the scope is global. What is global? Global means the variable which has been declared as extern will be accessed throughout the program. Okay, and last point, lifetime of variable. This is also different. Lifetime of a variable is till the end of program. In automatic and register class, lifetime was till the end of block, and in static storage class, lifetime was till the function call persists. Okay, and in this case, lifetime is till the end of programs. Okay, every variable will retain their value until you close that program. Okay, so these are the points. Note down these points, and now see this point. External variables differ from other variables in that their scope is global, not local. Okay, I've told you this one. Scope of variable is global here. Now it's not local to the block. And this is the second point which you should remember. External variables are declared outside all functions and available to all other functions in the program. Okay, when you declare a variable as external, they should be declared outside all the functions. Okay, they should not be declared inside a function. This is the point which you should remember. And when you declare a variable as a global or external, they will be available to all other functions of the program. Now see, this is the program for external storage class. Okay, try to interpret this and tell me what will be the output of this program. Here, see here, int I, this I is variable which is declared as external here. Okay, you have not used extern keyword here. Okay, it is optional for you. Remember this thing. If you declare this variable I outside main, then this will be automatically treated as an external variable. Okay, till now you have declared all the variables within main, right? You have declared all the variables within main function. But if you declare this variable I outside main, then this will be treated as a external keyword. Okay, so there is no need to.
Sir, initial value क्या होगी इसकी?
Initial value 0. Okay, I have written it here. Initial value of variable is 0.
लेकिन extern तो use किया नहीं सर.
हाँ, मैं यही कह रहा हूँ, ठीक है। अगर एक्सटर्न नहीं करते हैं, अगर और आप अगर इसको आउटसाइड मेन लिखते हैं, तो बाय डिफॉल्ट इसको जो कंपाइलर है क्या ट्रीट करेगा, एक्सटर्नल। ओके, लेकिन देखो ये ठीक क्वेश्चन है, लेकिन आपने ध्यान रखना कभी भी कि आप इस तरह से वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर करो, फिर भी आप कंपाइलर को बताओ, है ना, कि आपने इस वेरिएबल को एक्सटर्नल डिक्लेयर किया है। सो जस्ट अ सेकेंड। ओके, आप मैं भी इसके बाद एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ फिर से, है ना। पहले इसकी आउटपुट बताओ आप, ठीक है। व्हाट विल बी द आउटपुट ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम? See, two functions are declared, called here increment and decrement 2 times. Increment is called here, increment is called second time here. Then decrement is called 2 times. Okay, and these are the definition of these functions. This is the definition. In increment function, I will be incremented to 1, and then you will print I. Here decrement, you will decrease I, then you will print. Okay, and initial value of I is what? 0, because it is external. We have not initialized to 0, but by default it will be 0 because it is in external storage class. Now tell me, what will be the output of this program?
0, 1, 2.
1, 2.
0,
1,
2,
2.
1, 0.
1, 2, 1, 0.
Okay, 0, 1, 2, 1, 0. Okay,
Minus
so
1.
this will be the output of this program, 0, 1, 2, 1, 0. Okay, because you have called here first time increment function, so value of I was 0. So it is incremented to 1, then it is printed. Again, you have called it Okay, so see, scope is global, so value of I will retain here. Okay, it will not become again 0, it will retain to 1. So after time when you increment this, 1 plus 1 will be there, so it will be 2, and then you will print here. Okay, if this variable I is declared inside main, then it will not be in its scope will not be global, and again you would be printed here 1. Okay, अगर ये int जो है आपका I जो आपका मेन के अंदर होता तब आपका यहाँ पे 2 प्रिंट नहीं होता है यहाँ पर, है ना, क्योंकि इसका स्कोप क्या बन जाना था, लोकल टू द फंक्शन, तो यहाँ पर इसका 1 ही प्रिंट होना था फिर से. ठीक है, सो नेक्स्ट टाइम देखो स्टेटमेंट ये है डिक्रीमेंट, तो डिक्रीमेंट हुआ तो 2 वैल्यू रिटेन है, तो 2 के बाद क्या वैल्यू 1, तो 1 प्रिंट हुई. ठीक है, फिर आपने डिक्रीमेंट कॉल किया तो रिसेंट वैल्यू I की 1 थी, तो 1 रिटेन रहा, तो 1 डिक्रीमेंट हुआ और 1 प्रिंट कर दिया, तो सॉरी 0 प्रिंट कर दिया आपने उसके बाद ना, डिक्रीज होने के बाद. तो ये इसकी आउटपुट है. ठीक है, अब जो आप देखो अभी क्वेश्चन पूछा था किसी ने, ठीक है, कि एक्सटर्न क्यों नहीं लिखा इस पे, है ना. ठीक है, मैंने कहा ये ऑप्शनल है आपके पास, अगर नहीं लिखना है आपने तब भी इसको कंपाइलर कंसीडर करेगा, लेकिन फिर भी आपको इस तरह से लिखना चाहिए स्टेटमेंट. तो जब भी आप प्रोग्राम करेंगे, अगर आपने इस तरह से इसको एक्सटर्नल बनाया है, आपको इस तरह से मेन के अंदर फिर से लिखना है एक्सटर्न इंट आई. नहीं लिखेंगे चलेगा, दैट इज ऑप्शनल, आई टोल्ड यू दिस इज ऑप्शनल, बट यू शुड राइट दिस वन हियर. ओके, एक्सटर्न इंट आई.
दो बार करेंगे, दो बार डिक्लेयर
देखो
करेंगे सर.
देखो इसका मैं बताता हूँ आपको, यहाँ पर डिफाइन हुआ. ठीक है, दिस इज ओनली डिक्लेरेशन. ठीक है, देखो जब आप एक्सटर्न इंट आई लिखते हैं उस टाइम इसको सिर्फ डिक्लेरेशन ही काउंट किया जाता है, आप इसको डिफाइन भी नहीं कर सकते. आपने एक काम करना, एक प्रोग्राम लिखना है, ठीक है, और आप ये स्टेटमेंट लिखना एक्सटर्न इंट आई टू 10, तब भी एरर आएगा, बिकॉज व्हेन यू राइट एक्सटर्न कीवर्ड विद अ वेरिएबल इंट यू कैन नॉट डिफाइन दैट वेरिएबल. ओके, सो इट विल नॉट बी डिफाइंड हियर. आप एक्सटर्न इंट आई इक्वल टू समथिंग नहीं लिख सकते, है ना. तो दिस इज ओनली डिक्लेरेशन पार्ट एंड इट हैज बीन डिफाइंड हियर. Okay, how it is defined? Because it is in global scope, it is in external storage class, so value of I will be defined to 0. ठीक है, I को आपने क्या डिफाइन किया यहाँ पे, I की वैल्यू क्या बनाई यहाँ पर 0. दिस इज ओनली डिफरेंस. ठीक है, अगर आपको देखना है फिर भी तो मैं आपको एक प्रोग्राम अभी रन करके बताता हूँ, रुको, सेम पॉइंट आपको कंसेप्ट क्लियर हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, जस्ट अ सेकेंड. See this program. Okay, here you have declared a variable extern int a. Okay, so do you think it will produce output or there will be some error in this program? Will it run successfully? Here, see, you have declared a variable extern int a. Okay, and here in main program you have given this value a equal to 10. Let me tell you, this will produce an error. The reason behind this is when you have written this program extern int a, this one, the variable a is only declared. Okay, what does it mean? When you have declared a variable, no memory space will be given to this variable, and if no memory space is given to this variable, how can you initialize this value to 10? Okay, so see, this is the output error. Okay, undefined symbol a in module. Okay, extern.c. देखो आपने जब एक्सटर्न इंट ए लिखा था तो सिर्फ वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर हुआ था, और जब वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर हो उस केस में वेरिएबल को मेमोरी नहीं मिलती है आपके कंपाइलर पे. ठीक है, मेमोरी कब मिलती है आपको? वेरिएबल जब आप उसको डिफाइन करते हो. ठीक है, जैसे कि अब अगर मैं यहाँ पर लिखूं इंट ए इक्वल टू 10, अब ये वेरिएबल क्या हो, यहाँ पर डिक्लेयर होने के साथ साथ, डिक्लेयर तो यहाँ भी हुआ था लेकिन यहाँ पर आपने इसको डिफाइन किया जब आपने इसके साथ डाटा टाइप भी लिखी यहाँ पर इंट ए इक्वल टू 10, तो इस केस में इसकी आउटपुट आएगी देखो 10, है ना. सेकंड देखो जो हमने अभी एग्जांपल किया, आप यहाँ लिखते हैं इंट ए ठीक है, इसको मैं भी कमेंट बनाता हूँ यहाँ पर, ठीक है, एंड यू हैव प्रिंटेड ए हियर. Now still this program will print 0 here. Okay, if this is I have not used clear screen here, just a second. Okay, now see this put 0. देखो जब आपने extern int a लिखा था यहाँ पर, उस केस में सिर्फ declaration होती है. ठीक है, अब आपने int a लिखा है, मीन्स ये आपका क्या हुआ, डिक्लेयर होने के साथ साथ डिफाइन भी हुआ यहाँ पर. ठीक है, तो डिफाइन हुआ मीन्स एक्सटर्नल स्टोरेज क्लास में वेरिएबल की क्या वैल्यू रहती है, 0. तो a की वैल्यू 0 थी, तो आपने यहाँ पर डायरेक्ट प्रिंट कर दी a. ठीक है, यही हमने प्रोग्राम लिखा था अभी स्लाइड में. ठीक है, और एक और चीज, अगर मैं यहाँ पर एक्सटर्न इंट a लिखूं, जैसे मैंने कहा था कि आपको लिखनी चाहिए ये लाइन, है ना. ठीक है, उस केस में भी देखो इसकी आउटपुट क्या आएगी, 0. ठीक है, तो लेकिन ये ऑप्शनल है. ठीक है, मैंने आपको कहा था ये स्टेटमेंट ऑप्शनल है आपके पास, ये जो यहाँ पर है. ठीक है, आप नहीं लिखेंगे तब भी इसको कंपाइलर क्या ट्रीट करेगा, एक्सटर्नल ही. ठीक है, लेकिन इस केस में इस ए को आपने डिक्लेयर भी किया है और डिफाइन भी किया है. ठीक है, लेकिन अगर आप एक्सटर्नल लिखते हैं सिंपल, उस केस में सिर्फ डिक्लेरेशन होती है. समझाया थोड़ा बहुत कि नहीं?
पूरा नहीं आया सर.
यस सर.
ठीक है, देखो इसमें इतना समझने का आपका कंसेप्ट ये है कि जब आप एक्सटर्न इंट ए लिखते हो, जैसे आपने ये लाइन लिखी है यहाँ पे, है ना, जिसको एक बार मैं थोड़ा बोल्ड कर दूं, ये सिर्फ डिक्लेरेशन है. ठीक है, और डिक्लेरेशन जब भी होती है इसको मेमोरी स्पेस नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक है, जब तक आप इसको डिफाइन नहीं करते, और डिफाइन आपने इसको कहाँ किया है, आउटसाइड में. दिस इज डेफिनेशन हियर. ओके, और डिफाइन कभी नहीं किया होता कि आपने कुछ वैल्यूज उसको इनपुट की वेरिएबल केस में डेफिनेशन क्या है, वेरिएबल को डिफाइन करने का मीनिंग है कि वेरिएबल को कोई वैल्यू आपने असाइन की. तो इंट ए को आपने यहाँ पर क्या असाइन किया, 0, क्योंकि ये कौन सी क्लास में था, एक्सटर्नल में. जब भी आप मेन के बाहर लिखते हैं कोई वेरिएबल, वो बाय डिफॉल्ट एक्सटर्नल ट्रीट होगा. तो यहाँ पर इसको आपने डिफाइन किया. सिर्फ इतना सा कंसेप्ट है और नहीं.
सर इसको किसी ब्लॉक के अंदर नहीं कर सकते डिफाइन?
ब्लॉक के अंदर, जैसे हमने ब्लॉक के अंदर ही किया है यहाँ पर, लेकिन देखो हाँ, डिफाइन नहीं कर सकते. जैसे देखो मैं यहाँ पर लिखूं, सपोज मुझे ये यहाँ से हटा दिया मैंने, आउटसाइड करनी ही नहीं है, मुझे एक्सटर्न इंट करना है, और यहाँ पे मैं इसको डिफाइन करूँ इंट इक्वल टू 10. ओके, सो दिखना यहाँ पर भी एरर आएगा आपका, एरर. दिस इज एरर हियर. ओके, यू कैन नॉट डिफाइन अ वेरिएबल यूजिंग एक्सटर्न इनसाइड अ ब्लॉक. सी हियर, undefined symbol a external variable cannot be initialized. This is the error. External variable cannot be initialized. Okay, this is what I was telling you. You cannot initialize a variable using external keyword. Okay, you cannot define it. Okay. ठीक है, तो और external का आपने एक एग्जांपल पहले देख ही लिया है ना. एक मिनट, जस्ट अ सेकंड. ठीक है, और देखो अगर ये आई आपके पास यहाँ पर आउटसाइड क्लास था. ठीक है, इस स्लाइड में आई, यू हैव डिक्लेयर्ड आई एज एक्सटर्नल, सो it was accessible to increment function also, and it was accessible to decrement function also. Okay, so this is the point, scope of variable is global. Okay, this I can be accessed with this function also. Okay, so जब भी आप कोई वेरिएबल एक्सटर्नल डिक्लेयर करेंगे, कितने भी नंबर ऑफ फंक्शंस हो आपके प्रोग्राम में, सबके लिए वो एक्सेसिबल रहेगा. ठीक है, अगर आप इसको कहीं अंदर लिखते, किसी फंक्शन के अंदर डिफाइन करते, ठीक है, तब उसको किसी और फंक्शन में आप इसको नहीं कर सकते थे एक्सेस. अभी हमने देखा ही वैसे है ना, पहला प्रोग्राम था जो ABC वाला था, तो हम C को नहीं कर पा रहे थे एक्सेस एक वेरिएबल को आउटसाइड द ब्लॉक, तो वैसे फंक्शन में भी नहीं कर सकते थे. ठीक है, तो ये था एक्सटर्नल स्टोरेज क्लास का कॉन्सेप्ट. ठीक है, एक लास्ट इसमें एक और पॉइंट है समझने के लिए. ठीक है, देखो ये प्रोग्राम है. See here, you have also declared this variable as a global. You have declared here and also you have defined here. So value of x is now 10. Now see in main program, you have again changed this value x to 20. Okay, this is another variable x here. Okay, this has been defined, given a value 20. See, this x is different from this x here. Okay, so now printf %di. Now tell me what will be the output of this program. Will this global value will be printed here, or will this local value will be printed here? And after this you have called the function display, and again here you have printed x. Okay, see, again you have printed x. So tell me the complete output of this program now. Just see it carefully and then reply. What will be the output of this program?
सर यहाँ पे I की जगह पे X होगा.
हाँ सॉरी, यहाँ पर x होगा, ये गलत कर दिया ना, यहाँ here it should be x. Okay.
Twenty and 10.
20 and 10. Okay, this is right answer. Okay, because in inner function, that is main function here, value of inner variable will be printed. Okay, here 20 will be printed, then you will call display, and display is defined outside main function. So here 10, x value of x equal to 10 will be printed. This will take place here. Okay, because its scope is global, so for every function this x is visible. So here 10 will be printed, and inside main only 20 will be printed. So this is the output 20 and 10, and this is the point which I was going to tell you. When such kind of conflict arises, local variable will get preference over the global variable. Okay, this is local variable here 20, and this is global variable. So when you have tried to print here x, so local variable will get preference. So 20 will be printed and 10 will not be printed here. So these are the points for external storage class. Okay, this is all for storage classes. If you have any question, you can ask. Then otherwise, we will go to next slide now. Okay, you can take screenshot of this also. Do one thing, you try all the programs yourself, then you will grasp the concept very easily. Okay, जब तक आप रन नहीं करोगे प्रोग्राम है ना, तब तक समझ नहीं आएगा. ठीक है, जैसे मैंने अभी आपको रन करके दिखाए हैं. ठीक है, आपने स्क्रीनशॉट लिए हैं, सभी ने रन करने हैं ना. तो चले नेक्स्ट स्लाइड की तरफ. ले ली स्क्रीनशॉट सभी ने?
Yes, sir.
So now this is next slide. Okay, this is the summary what we have studied today. Okay, this all has been summarized in a table. See, this is the table. Okay, these are 4 storage classes which we have discussed: automatic, register, static, and external. Okay, and these were the features regarding these storage classes. First of all, what keyword will be used to denote them, then memory, then what will be the initial value, and then scope and their lifetime. So see, for automatic, keyword is auto, register is for register class it is register, and for static class it is static, and for external it is external. These are the keywords. See second line here, except register class, all other classes will store variable in main memory. Okay, in register class the variable will be stored in CPU register. See next, first 2 classes, automatic and register, garbage value will be garbage value for a variable, and initial value of static and external class will be 0. Okay, only these are the 2 classes which will define a variable to 0. Okay, now say scope, except this external. Okay, the scope of all the variables in first 3 classes is local to the block in which they are declared. Okay, so scope is within block for first 3 classes, and it is global only for external class. You see lifetime. Okay, in automatic and register class, the lifetime is end of block. As soon as you come out of the block, that variable is destroyed. Okay, and then in static class, the value of variable will retain till all function calls are terminated, and then see, this is the external storage class. Here all the variables will be destroyed only after you end the program. So this is the summary of all what we have discussed today. Okay, and take screenshot of this also. Remember one thing, this is most important question which can be asked in examination. What are storage classes in C? Explain all classes with the help of some examples. Okay, then you have to remember this table. Also draw this table in your answer sheet. So this is summary. Now this is all for today. Okay, you try to run the program which we have discussed in slide. Okay, then you can ask the questions tomorrow. Okay. कि कोई किसी का क्वेश्चन है तो पूछ सकते हैं अभी, है ना?